antacids are being taken every year, but these little things might be doing more harm than we realize. Hello, welcome to the CARINARA Cooking Show. I'm your host, Jackie Berkland, and with me today is Lauryn Mohr. She is a functional nutrition practitioner, the founder and CEO of The Lowdown, which is a private functional medicine practice. Thanks so much for being here, Lauryn.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to be cooking up a recipe with CARINARA, of course, and we're going to talk to Lauryn a bit about the root cause of issues such as heartburn, which is how CARINARA got started, and understanding what's happening in the body and how might these antacids be affecting our bodies with long-term use.
The Lowdown is a nutrition and functional medicine practice. It is located here in Omaha, but we see patients across the globe. My priority in creating The Lowdown and my holistic medicine methods is to help people understand that there are solutions to chronic health conditions, such as gut health issues, autoimmune patterns, hormone imbalances, and even metabolic disease through non-pharmaceutical interventions.
So less meds, less pills.
Yeah, less meds.
That's always good.
Yeah.
I feel like we were raised on, just take that medicine to help with that symptom. Especially Tums for me, it was like, oh yeah, I'll just pop a Tums after I have pasta or pizza.
Sure.
And in this day and age, people are realizing, okay, what's on the back of labels? Why am I even taking this medication? That's sort of the rabbit hole we went down when we started CARINARA. No wonder people are having to get stronger medications and prescription medications because they might not be helping after a while.
Absolutely. And in no way, shape, or form are we ever anti-anything, right? All tools can truly be on the table, but I think to your point, a lot of individuals are starting to ask bigger questions. They're starting to get more curious than maybe just taking a prescription every day for the rest of their life and asking some of those deeper questions of why. Why do I struggle with heartburn? Why does my gut bother me when I eat certain foods? I think they're just demanding some better answers. I don't ever want someone to confuse relief with resolution. Because even if you get maybe, like I said, short-term relief from some of these like daily antacids, it kind of lulls us a little bit into a false sense of reality because we do get some immediate relief, which then sort of convinces us that everything's fixed, right? Everything's
like a Band-Aid.
Correct. Just being able to offer people an alternative viewpoint also just expand beyond options for them. If they are interested in non-pharmaceutical ways to manage their health and wellness, and really start to answer that root cause question of why. Why am I struggling with this? And is there a world where I don't need that medication anymore? Because we have addressed the body as a whole.
So today for our recipe, we're going to be making a creamy Tuscan pasta dish with some chicken on top. Let's get cooking. Lauryn, I'm gonna have you start slicing up some mushrooms. I just got some baby portobello mushrooms here. And then I'm going to prep the chicken. I have 2 chicken breasts here. I'm just gonna drizzle with olive oil, sprinkle with salt and pepper. As you're cooking that, let's pretend I'm one of your clients.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling with heartburn. A really bad pain in my chest. I realize it's, certain foods are triggering that.
Okay.
How would you approach a client and kind of figure out the root cause and help explain what's happening in the body?
Absolutely. When we think of heartburn, I would say the biggest theme that we're going to want to investigate together is what we call digestive capacity, which is really just a fancy way of saying how you're digesting your food. Heartburn is usually some sort of insufficiency with either stomach acid, pancreatic enzymes, or another digestive juice called bile. So those 3 work in concert together to really make sure that we're breaking down our food adequately. I would say stomach acid probably gets the biggest blame game when it comes to heartburn, which is what things like antacids tend to target, but truly it can be any combination of some of that digestive insufficiency. And this is where we'll kind of blow some brains today. A lot of times heartburn is always treated as too much stomach acid, right? And so here we are trying to obliterate stomach acid, lower stomach acid, when in reality, I see heartburn usually as an inability to properly digest your food. And that's usually resulting in those symptoms that we call heartburn, and is reflective more of the digestive system not being able to fully digest that food properly.
Oh, interesting.
So something that I do with all the patients that start with me is we always start with a comprehensive blood panel. And within that, obviously, I'm looking at metabolic markers like blood sugar, lipid panel like your cholesterol.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we can see from nutrient insufficiencies, low zinc, low B vitamin status, low iron. All of those are going to be signs and indicators of poor digestion and poor absorption. Obviously, for some people, we do need to dig a little bit deeper. So you can use things like stool analysis testing. Is probably the gold standard to identify like where that kink in the chain might be. Yes. So it sounds a little odd maybe to some people. In my world, it is not odd at all. I do it all the time.
Great,
but
tell me what we're cooking.
absolutely.
I didn't even cut off a finger yet, so you're doing so good.
Yeah, please be careful. All right, Lauren, you mentioned some low-hanging fruit on some ways you could address some things right away. What would be some suggestions you would do or ideas that would come up? And I'm gonna throw this chicken on the skillet. I have a little olive oil in there heating up, so it's ready to go.
Ironically, the first place I usually start is prompting someone on how are we eating. I know everybody wants to talk about what we're eating or how much we're eating. Don't eat this, don't eat that. When you think of digestion, it truly starts before food even hits your mouth.
Really?
Yes, they call it the cephalic phase of digestion, but the cephalic phase of digestion is just like this. Seafood, smelling food, cutting food, handling food. Our brain is already anticipating that we're going to eat. So about 20 to 25% of your stomach acid is actually created before food even hits your mouth. Yes, just in the anticipatory response of food. Now you can think in our culture today though, we don't necessarily always do this, right? We are on the go. We are, eating while we're multitasking. We're eating in front of screens. We're eating in the car and in drive-thrus. And so a lot of people miss out on that cephalic phase of digestion. When we can control it, obviously life is life, but chewing your food, to the consistency of applesauce before swallowing it, which sounds excessive, but try it. Also, even just the habit of taking 3 to 4 deep breaths before eating to put your body into a parasympathetic state, that rest and digest state, and also even just putting your fork down between bites, right?
It's so hard to do.
It is so hard, and you feel so awkward at first. So it just helps us slow down, actually taste the food, and fully get all processes of digestion online.
Chew your food. Sounds so simple.
Chew your food.
We tell our kids, like, chew your food.
I mean, truly, yes.
Alright, we got our chicken all grilled up. We'll remove it from the pan and set it aside. Get our pasta going. I poured the bag in there to the boiling water, so that's cooking. Tell us a little bit more about the cephalic phase, and if we're in a rush and we're not, looking at our food before, what's happening in the body.
So that cephalic phase of digestion is so important because it primes our body for food coming in. When we have that anticipatory response, we get that surge of stomach acid, so the stomach is prepped for digestion. Without that, we're going to get food that comes in. The digestion is not prepped for that digestion experience, and food slowly piles up and starts to put pressure on the lower part of the esophagus. So we can actually get some acid that does regurgitate up into the esophagus. If there's already pre-existing irritation there, you're going to feel that as heartburn. Kind of like when you put lemon juice on a cut, like it stings, right? That we then grab antacids for, but at the start of the whole story was low stomach acid, and here we are lowering stomach acid.
Is that what Tums or over-the-counter antacid does? It tries to lower the acid?
Correct. The antacid, especially something chewable like a Tums, is a calcium carbonate substance. It actually just neutralizes stomach acid.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I feel like that's a big misconception, is the stomach has too much acid causing the acid reflux, so that's why they take a Tums to lower it, but in fact, we start with low acid and then the Tums lowers it even more.
Most people, it keeps them in a self-perpetuating cycle. But again, that's where we just have a little bit of a confusion over relief, meaning resolution, and sometimes it's purely just relief.
Right. So when we're in Chick-fil-A drive-thru, we just need to look at our sandwich and our chicken for a while. Smell it.
Yes, chew it. To the consistency of applesauce. Enjoy the taste of it. And truly, it does make a difference.
Interesting. I'm going to try that next time. Next, we're going to get our chickpeas going. Spread them out in a cookie shape. Place your oven to about 375 degrees, and we're just going to toss it with some olive oil, salt, and pepper. That way it will get nice and crispy. I want to talk to you a little bit about what happens when you're pregnant, because we get a lot of that in our comments. I experienced that during both of my pregnancies. Tell us a little bit what's going on in the body with pregnancy.
And pregnancy is a unique situation because we definitely have some changes in that intra-abdominal pressure. We have more pressure up into the diaphragm, which does encroach on the stomach as well. So we're just kind of getting, as you can imagine, digestion kind of moving the opposite direction that it's normally intended to. So that's where you can get some of those heartburn related symptoms. But even within pregnancy too, that is a time where we are at higher risk for some of those key nutrient deficiencies. So we do need high amounts of zinc, adequate B vitamins, iron, all of which are compromised for a female during pregnancy because she's also growing another human who needs those nutrients as well too.
I'm sure you get a lot of clients that are pregnant because so much is changing in the body.
True.
Awesome. So we're gonna pop these in the oven, get them nice and crispy. Next, we're gonna saute the mushrooms on our skillet. You can use the same skillet that you cooked the chicken in. You could add a little bit more olive oil. So we'll get those sauteing and then we will cut up some garlic next. So go ahead, pop that in the oven. I will get this on the stove. So a trick that I learned with garlic is you take your knife and take the top of the garlic head and just cut that off. Next, take the flat edge and just squish it. The peel comes off a lot easier and you don't have to sit there peeling every piece of clove. We used to hand chop all the onion and garlic that went into the CARINARA sauce by hand.
So you learned some efficiency tricks.
We got really good at this. But the better you squish it, the easier it comes out. Just pop out like that.
When you have to chop a few hundred cloves of garlic, you learn to get fast at it.
I wanted to talk to you about certain foods that might cause heartburn. I know for me, red sauce gave me heartburn really bad, like right after I ate it or later that night. What kind of foods could worsen heartburn symptoms?
I would say a lot of individuals do find a struggle with some of those more high acidity foods like tomatoes, or even anything with a fair amount of spice to it, a little bit of heat to it. The stomach lining should be mucousy, It should be kind of snotty texture. Usually when that mucus layer has gone eroded away, the stomach is very raw, And so then when you do experience more high acidic foods like tomatoes and spices, it's again kind of like lemon juice right on a cut.
I love that analogy. So at this point in the recipe, you will want to get your pasta in the boiling water. We are using a gluten-free penne pasta, so cooking time is about 13 minutes. Our chickpeas are still roasting in the oven, so we're continuing to get our garlic minced. We will add that to the mushrooms, and I'm going to start picking off some spinach. When we started with CARINARA, the red sauce was giving me heartburn, and I was wondering what else could I make a pasta sauce out of. I tried a bunch of different types of vegetables, and I found that carrots were really soothing on my stomach, or I just felt so much better afterwards. I didn't feel the heaviness, it was much lighter. What is the science behind, is it the carrots, is it, the combination of things? Talk to me a little bit about how CARINARA might not give those symptoms as much as tomato sauce.
Sure. If you've ever heard of the term a nightshade, tomatoes are part of that nightshade family along with certain types of peppers, white potatoes, eggplant. So some people have issues with tomatoes because of the nightshade, and carrots are not high nightshade, so they kind of tolerate that swap a little bit better. But there are certain foods that are high histamine or foods that are histamine liberating foods, and tomatoes happen to be in that category. So some people are reacting to the nightshade, some people are reacting to the histamine properties of it.
When we first started, we did a lot of research on carrots. I also found that carrots have a lot of soluble fiber, which helps kind of neutralize the stomach acid and when you eat them. So
really great for your beneficial gut bugs. They love soluble fiber and they eat that up, and then they help protect the gut lining as well.
Gut bug. I've never heard that term before.
We have a whole microbiome of gut bugs inside of us. Some good guys, some bad guys. You just want to make sure that the good guys are winning the war there.
Well, that's what I love about all your videos on your YouTube channel. You just make it so easy to understand.
I don't think that anybody needs a PhD to understand their body, and it can feel very empowering to have it more simple and digestible, no pun intended.
It's funny you say that because that's what we say about the back of the label.
Oh,
you shouldn't need a PhD to read all the ingredients on the back of the label.
You should be able to pronounce all the ingredients as well.
Lauren, what is the handle for your YouTube channel? How can people find you on there?
Yes, I run a weekly podcast series called Learn with Lo. You can find me on YouTube under The Lowdown Nutrition, and you'll find over 160 videos at this point for your educational and viewing pleasure.
And that's the Lowdown LO, right?
Correct. The
The
Lowdown
Lowdown.
LO.
Jake, do you want to show people that you're here?
I am here.
All right, so we will add the garlic in with the mushrooms. Just do a quick saute so we don't burn the garlic, and then we're going to add the sweet basil carinara sauce to it with some coconut milk. I'm sauteing the mushrooms here till they're nice and, how would you describe that?
Soft.
Soft? I was gonna say rubbery, but that doesn't sound good.
Rubbery mushrooms. Just what everybody wants.
And then we'll add in the garlic.
Next, we're going to add our sweet basil carinara. Smells delicious. And we're going to be adding our coconut milk. But this is a great dairy-free alternative for our allergen-friendly recipes.
Yeah.
Our recipe is coming together. We are just simmering the sauce on the stove. Next step is we will fold in the spinach once we get a little bit closer to the end of the recipe. Our chickpeas are done in the oven, so we popped them out. I'm gonna slice up this chicken, and then I'm gonna have you pick some basil because that will be a nice touch on top. Tell me a little bit about allergy versus intolerance. We get a lot of people saying that they are allergic to tomatoes, and then some that are just sensitive to it.
Sure. Some people use those terms interchangeably, but they are distinctly different. So when you think of the term true allergy, we're thinking about what is the immune response that's happening here, right? And one of the major players in the game is called IgE. These are immunoglobulins that are produced by our immune system. And when you have an IgE response, I always remember that because E is emergency. My lips are swelling, my tongue is swelling, my throat is closing, right? The sensitivity and intolerance are kind of used a little bit more interchangeably because it's not a IgE mediated response. Sometimes it's a little bit more delayed. So you can have an IgG, IgA, IgM. There's lots of other immunoglobulins that are kind of associated with that. And so individuals that have a little bit more of the intolerance or sensitivity, they definitely notice symptoms. Sometimes they're just a little bit more delayed, and maybe it's some gut upset. They notice more nausea. They notice more GI upset, changes in their overall bowel motility, things like bloating, gas. Maybe they have skin reactions with it as well too.
So allergy is more immediate responses that are more emergent, and an intolerance would be maybe prolonged symptoms, and most likely it's not the food, it's what's happening in the gut that is causing those symptoms.
Correct.
I'm gonna bring this hot skillet over. We simmered the carinara and the coconut milk in here. We're gonna fold in the spinach. So a nice healthy portion of the spinach. We'll fold it in until it's nice and wilted.
That looks amazing. It smells amazing too.
It does. Can confirm. It smells amazing.
Well,
Cooked pasta right into the sauce. All right, so we're just combining all the noodles, covering it with the sauce. And then I have a plate here. We'll put some of the pasta in it. We'll top it with some chicken and then our crispy chickpeas and a little bit of basil. And then we're gonna pop onto our social media live and answer a few questions from some viewers. And we'll do a live taste test.
all right, we are live.
But I'm gonna start plating the chicken. Jake, let us know if anyone is on, and then we can get into the intro part of it.
Fantastic.
Also, you're recording this, right?
I am recording
So
this as
chicken's
well.
not just appearing out of nowhere.
I'm not a super professional videographer, but you're doing a great job.
Sprinkle some on.
What are you adding there?
Our crispy chickpeas. We made a Tuscan chicken carinara dish. Still working on the name of it, but it's Tuscan creamy pasta with the sweet basil carinara. And we just grilled up some chicken to add a little protein to it.
Andrea Mendoza says, as a tomato hater, thank you.
We're going to do a live taste test, but please add any questions into the comments for Lauren.
A really good shot of how beautiful this is.
Yes, before we dig into it. All right, let's dig in.
Let's dig in. I gotta get some of this mushroom.
Yeah, so we added mushroom in here, some coconut milk. I'm really excited.
Chicken.
So this is a dairy-free Tuscan chicken recipe.
Yes.
That's amazing.
The crunch of the chickpea.
That's so good.
Good work.
Yeah. And we also used gluten-free noodles. So it's dairy-free, gluten-free, tomato-free. 10 out of 10, I think, on taste.
I think 10 out of 10. That pasta is done perfectly.
And I know we took a long time to cook it, but if we
Yeah.
were actually at home, it would be really quick and easy.
And kind of a one skillet dish too,
Yeah.
for the most part.
I love that, not having to do as many dishes.
Absolutely.
Our next question is, does adding baking soda to your pasta sauce actually cut the acidity? I tried this, but it still isn't working for me. Why is that?
Yeah, the baking soda trick is part of a similar thought process as using things like antacids, especially Tums, something that is based in more of a calcium carbonate. It is acting as an acidic buffer. So the goal, if you know anything about acid-base balance in the body, stomach acid should be acidic. And so by adding things like baking soda to higher acidic foods, the theory is that that lowers the overall acid load of that dish. Now, some people may or may not actually see notable differences with that, because truly what you're not modifying with that addition of baking soda is your body's stomach acid, right? You're kind of altering maybe the acidity of what's going in, but ultimately whether your body is able to adequately produce enough stomach acid, that's usually the jury is out on that. And that's where a lot of those like heartburn or digestive concerns come from with more of those tomato-based or acidic-based dishes. So if the baking soda trick isn't working, we might want to think a little bit broader about our body's acidic load.
Yeah, great question. We get that comment a lot. So you're saying it'd be like grating Tums over your sauce?
Pretty much, yes.
All right, so we have another question from the audience. How is acidic foods connected to the gallbladder? I had gallbladder flare-ups when I was pregnant. Thankfully, CARINARA was my saving grace.
When you think of acidic foods in the gallbladder, when the whole digestive process is really a synchrony between 3 different digestive juices. So we have stomach acid, and then we have pancreatic enzymes that come from the pancreas, and then we also have bile. And bile is ejected from the gallbladder. It originates from the liver. Usually your stomach acid helps you break down proteins in food. Digestive enzymes from the pancreas help us break down carbohydrates and fats. And then the bile really helps that final phase of fat digestion. So acidic foods and the connection of acidic foods into gallbladder function, it's really a synchrony. So if you don't have enough stomach acid, then you don't trigger the gallbladder to contract adequate bile flow. And in pregnancy with changes in hormones, sometimes bile gets thick and it gets kind of sludgy. And so the body has a hard time getting enough of it into digestive circulation. There's things we can do to, even from a food forward perspective, to help thin the bile. Bitter foods are really helpful for this. Arugula. So we could have used something like an arugula in this recipe.
Or kale.
Kale, yes, everybody's favorite.
Jackie's always trying to get kale in our meals. Drives me nuts.
Yes, usually those bitter greens, and some of them are a little bit odd, but your like radicchio, your watercress, your arugulas of the world, your endive. So if you're adventurous and kind of sneak out into some of the different greens, those bitter greens can be really helpful. Citrus fruits like orange, lemon, things like that as well too. Beets are great for thinning bile flow as well. So these are just, like I said, some little tidbits of some of the things that I use in my practice, helping people who might have some of that bile insufficiency even during pregnancy with safe and pregnancy safe kind of alternatives as
Like
well.
you say, you focus on the root cause medicine.
True. Yes.
I just want to thank you so much for being on our
Thank
show
you guys for
today.
having me. It was so much fun.
I'm excited for you guys to watch the whole episode. And if you continue to have questions, you can send it over to our direct messages or follow Lauryn. And we'll see you next time.